They watching my moves, I got them starstruck. Out here breaking the rules, I got them starstruck. I got nothing to lose, so I'm letting it loose. Out here paying my dues, I got them starstruck.
Welcome to Football Friday night, and we are not messing around tonight. Week 10, we start at Coldwater against Marion Local. A MAC title's up for grabs. A perfect regular season is on the line. A state record winning streak is on the line. Bragging rights are on the line.
Man, the stakes are so high tonight, guys. The 2024 edition has the Flyers as #1 in Division 7, and Coldwater is #1 in Division 6.
And this year's chapter in the rivalry has even more juice. I mean, Marion Local can win its 58th straight game and break Delphus St. John's state record of 57. Massive implications for our Spotlight game.
Tonight's Football Friday Night Spotlight game is brought to you by Norada Lanes.
The Flyers' last loss was in 2020, the playoffs against New Bremen. The 50-50 for this game, by the way, guys, a little over $22,000 to the winner. So many storylines for this one. Let's get back to the most important one, though, shall we? Football inside the first quarter. Flyers inside the red zone. Justin Knopf sidearms the throw out to Victor Holscher. The senior will take it 15 yards up the field for the Marion Local touchdown. Flyers strike first, 7-0. Then Flyers back with the ball on the goal line. Drew Laws will punch it in to make it a 14-0 game as they go into the locker room with a 21-0 lead. Now in the third quarter, Marion Local not wasting any time. Parker Hess gets into the end zone. It's a 4-score game, and then it was all Marion Local after that as well. Laws takes it, the quarterback toss 13 yards to the house. They've done it. 35-0 is your final, a state record, 58 straight wins, a 10-0 regular season, an outright MAC title. Man.
We just came out and played our game. Coldwater is a great rival of ours, and it was. You said we dominated, but I sure didn't feel like it. But our kids played great. Oh, we need to rest up and get healthy. These last 2 weeks were pretty physical. So yeah, we just need to do our thing.
Well, another top-tier matchup over at Bluffton. The 9-0 Pirates host 9-0 Columbus Grove. Bluffton is #4 in Division 6. Columbus Grove is #2 in Division 7.
Bluffton is looking for their first NWC title since 2005, guys, and their first undefeated regular season since 2004. Columbus Grove has won 5 of the last 6 titles.
But it's the Pirates that come in with the upper hand today because they lead the NWC in points scored, total yards, points allowed, yards allowed. The Bulldogs second in all of those categories, and this matchup was made all the sweeter by how last season ended. First, Grove spoiled Bluffton's undefeated season in the NWC title game, and then CG won again in the Region 22 championship, ending the Pirates season. Now, the Bulldogs are down to their 4th quarterback this year due to injury. Yeah, 4, but that doesn't matter to Kyle Hopkins. Opening drive, 4th down, the senior to Trevin Baxter on the out route to move the chains, and 4 plays later, Trenton Barraza from 2 yards out, 7-0 Grove. The reigning offensive player of the year has absolutely stepped up in this injured offense, leading the NWC in rush yards by more than double the next guy on the list. Just casually tacks on 60 more there. The first snap of the next CG possession, and then the second snap, he finishes the job himself. It's very early, and it's already 14-zip. Bluffton offense, no first downs on their first 3 drives, and on the other sideline, Barraza is cooking. 14 yards out, it's TD3 for #3. He says count them. 20 carries, 197 yards. That's the first half. 21-0 to start the second quarter. The senior decides it's time to share the feast. Grant Eversole makes it a stunning 28-0 ball game. Who saw this coming? Grove 42, Bluffton zip.
Tony
Bulldogs.
didn't, I know that.
Bulldogs 8th straight win over Bluffton, their 6th NWC title of the last 7. Andy Schaefer speaks to the performance of Trenton Barraza and the defense.
I'd like to say I'm shocked, but I'm not. He's been doing it all year. He's been doing it for his career. Why does he do it? Because the offensive line, he gives credit to those guys, so I'm going to give credit to. I mean, our guys just absolutely owned the trenches tonight, and it was awesome. Our defense played the best that we could. I told him before the game, why are we going to win this game? Because we have the best defense in the Northwest Conference. I really felt it all year, and I knew that they were going to show up tonight, and they certainly did.
We'll make our way back to town. LCC and Crestview collide at Spartan Stadium. It's simple for Crestview, win and they're in. As for LCC, with a victory, they will lock up a home playoff game in Week 11. Crestview trails by 3 to start the second half, so the Knights decide on an aerial approach, but it's Michael Quatman coming down with the INT right here. The T-Birds take over. And they will capitalize on the turnover. This time it's Matthew Quatman who bulldozes his way into the end zone. T-Birds now go up 10-0. Later in the quarter, Crestview is facing a 4th and 10. Huxley Gross connects with Rain Sheets, and the Knights are now in the red zone. To the 4th quarter we go. Crestview would have to settle for a field goal as Hayden Parrott sends one through the post. The Knights are now on the board. They trail by 7. In the final moments of regulation, Crestview looks to air it out. The pass is broken up by the T-Birds defense as Quatman and Josh Young comes down with the pressure. LCC takes over, and Brady Parker will take a knee. Thunderbirds take this game 10-3.
All right, let's go over to Allen East. Mustangs need a win to have a chance at the playoffs. Fort Loramie, they're already in. So we go to the second half. Fort Loramie's up 24-0. Starting off in the third, Redskins are about to score on 3rd long. Hey, but it's Allen East, Ethan Hirschberger, who bats it away, and this drive would ultimately yield no points for Fort Loramie. Mustangs trying to get on the board now. Keegan Jones throws deep to inside the 5. Fort Loramie's Cole Barhorst with the interception. Believe it. In the 4th now, Fort Loramie QB Gabe Hart hands off to Thomas Hoeing, who weaves in and out of traffic safely to get 28 yards. And then later in the drive, Ray Hoeing would cap it off with a touchdown to make it 31-0. Now, Allen East would score the final 3 touchdowns in this game, but they lose 31-21. All right, elsewhere in the Northwest Central Conference, Waynesfield Goshen at Ridgemont. Ridgemont is an 18-12 winner in overtime. You got to love them. They're preparing for the first ever playoff game for their program, and they're at home. Perry at Ridgedale, the Doors are playoff bound with a 10-7 victory. Hardin Northern at Elgin, the Comets are in with a 32-28 win. North Baltimore at Upper Scioto Valley, the USV Rams coming on top 36-14. Of course, they've already clinched a top 4 seed.
And back to the MAC we go. 2 playoff-bound teams, but trending in different directions. St. Henry has 3 more wins than they did last season. Versailles, 2 more losses. And a loss for either team tonight means they'll have to hit the road next week. After a scoreless first quarter, we go to the second. Charlie Whirling finds Drew Langenkamp, the Redskin sophomore, leaping into the end zone. St. Henry takes the 7-0 lead, but it doesn't take long at all for Versailles to respond. That's the ensuing kickoff, and that's Tigers senior Jace Watron making his way to the outside, finding blockers downfield and hitting the gas. Nobody's going to catch him. He takes it all the way, immediately tying the game at 7. But although the Tigers tack on a field goal before halftime, it's 10 unanswered Redskin points in the second half. St. Henry locks up a home game in Region 28. Versailles will hit the road in R20.
He scored out of there.
Wow. At Stadium Park, St. John's welcomes in New Bremen. The Cardinals and the Blue Jays have already secured a road playoff game in Week 11. But both teams are looking for that much-needed momentum heading into next week. In the third, New Bremen is marching down the field. Rogan Muther takes it up the gut. He trucks his way into the end zone for the 6th. Cardinals go up by 7. To the 4th quarter, New Bremen attempts a 35-yard field goal, and Aiden Eastham drills it through the uprights. That makes it 17-7 Cardinals. And the story of this game was New Bremen's defense, as the Cards shut out the Blue Jays in the second half, and it's capped off by this game-sealing sack by Vince Wilker. New Bremen snaps a 3-game losing streak to win 17-7.
Right time to win.
Elsewhere, Fort Recovery's season ends. Minster's win is 49-7. Anna shut out Parkway 46-0. Lehman Catholic falls 46-14. Northridge is the outright winner of the Three Rivers Conference. Riverside falls on the road against Milton Union 28-14. Now, after the break, we turn to undefeated Lima Senior, the WBL, BVC, highlights and scores straight ahead. Welcome back to Football Friday Night. Once again, let's go now to the Toledo City League. Lima Senior is looking for that perfect 10-0 regular season, Tony.
And an outright league title.
That too.
They're up, taking on Start.
We head to Toledo. A win for Lima Senior also gives them a home playoff game. A loss, and they're almost certainly on the road. We get right to it. Janias Hall finding who else, guys? Boog Wilson. And look at the footwork. Man, he is fun to watch. Off to the races. He's going to score. But something that doesn't happen to Lima Senior teams too often, their opponents answered and then some. Lima Senior loses their first game of the season, 48-20 to start. They'll try to regroup and get ready for the playoffs after a 9-1 regular season.
Wow.
Green Meadows Conference scoreboard, Paulding secures their playoff spot with a 46-6 win over Antwerp, while Wayne Trace beat Ayersville 48-13. And wrapping up the GMC, Fairview beat Hicksville 34-12. Let's go to the Western Buckeye League now, shall we? Wapak is looking for an undefeated regular season and back-to-back home games to open the postseason. Salina has their spot locked up. First quarter, Caleb Moyer will hand off to Jarrett Mullen. Little juke, little cut, little pay dirt. 7-0 Redskins just about 3 minutes into this game, but back come the Bulldogs. Bobby Morris has some, look at the platoon of blockers in front of him, and he takes full advantage, using them to perfection. Down the sidelines he goes and into the end zone. We are tied up at 7. Now the Bulldogs back on offense again. Morris drops back, fires, picked off by Ryan Walter. Wapak is headed the other way. Now Moyer from shotgun. He's going to go to the middle of the field. Caden Page is waiting for it. Hulls is in, makes the guy miss, and he is gone. Wapak wins a good one, 21-17. Finishing that regular season 10-0 for the first time since 2015. 2 home games to open the playoffs.
Okay. All right, let's shift our focus to Bath High School as the Wildcats take on St. Mary's. Whichever team wins this game, they will be at home next week while the loser begins their postseason trek on the road. Starting off in the first, it's Bath who strikes first. Zach Welsh will find fellow junior mate Logan Markley. Wildcats are now on the board. PAT is no good. It's now 6-0. And Adam, you're a St. Mary's grad, so you know what St. Mary's does best.
They run the ball, Tony.
Exactly. Cohen Mabry takes it to the end zone for a 17-yard score.
Only run the ball.
Rough Riders are now up 7-6. Later in the first, Aiden Meyerding decides to take it himself with the help of his teammates and a lot of patience. Will eventually break the plane for the score. The Rough Riders extend their lead to 8, and there's a signal for the touchdown.
Yes.
To the second. We saw him earlier, and here he is at the again. Mabry heads to his left, and that's a 14-yard TD for the Rough Riders. St. Mary's comes out on top, 37-29.
Well, perhaps the most crucial game in the WBL this week is Elida versus Van Wert. Guys, it's simple. You win, you're in. You lose, the season is over. And the Cougars have dominated this rivalry as of late. They've won the last 6 straight meetings. They've also been to the playoffs in 4 straight seasons. The Bulldogs have a chance to play spoiler, but Van Wert marches down the field on their opening drive. It's 4th down, the Cougs going for it all. Briston Wise rolls to his left, fires to the end zone, and there he finds an open Nate Gearhart for the touchdown. 7-0 Van Wert. Lots of scoring in this one, though. Elida answers in a hurry. Handoff goes to Cameron Kaufman. It's 3 yards and a cloud of dust. He is gone. A 65-yard TD to tie it up at 7 apiece. And Elida's offense was cooking tonight. Inside the red zone, the jet sweep goes to Amari Wash, shows his speed and makes the dive inside the pylon. 14-7 Dogs, and what a night for the junior. 293 yards, 3 touchdowns, including this one. Guys, you'll see his helmet gets ripped clean off his head. But that won't stop him or Elida. They punch their ticket to the postseason, 49-34. Van Wert will miss out for the first time since 2019.
Elsewhere, Kentnet Shawnee, the Wildcats win over the Indians in a shootout. 48-47 is the final there. And Defiance secures a home playoff game with their 22-10 win over Ottawa Glandorf. All right, Liberty Benton playing for an outright Blanchard Valley Conference title, while Van Buren needs a huge upset for a realistic shot at the playoffs. 6 minutes left in the first quarter is where we start. Liberty Benton looking for their first points. Down the field we go. Seth Elkert with a textbook over-the-shoulder catch. Then some yards after catch to go along with it. 7-0 Eagles. A couple of minutes later, back comes Liberty Benton. Back of the end zone. Braden Lemire is there for the catch. Just like that, it's 14-0. Now, Van Buren would get some offense going of their own here. Mason Thorla Lopez makes the catch up the seam. 14-7. Liberty Benton still with the lead, but the Eagles would pick it up after that. A 37-7 Eagles win. Final score, an outright BVC title for the 2nd straight year. Black Knights are likely done for the season.
All right, another BBC finale, this one featuring former NWC foes. Lipstick was 3-0 against Ada during their time as conference rivals, but the Bulldogs come in with a better record tonight, and both teams fighting for a Region 26 home game. Ada will get the opening kickoff tonight. It's Caden Hickman back there to receive. He takes it at the 85-yard line, and with a burst of speed right past the Viking coverage, the junior is heading to the house. Talk about a fast start. 7-0 Bulldogs after 12 seconds. Lipstick will look to answer, though, a 35-yard connection for Mark Kirkendall, and then he goes right back to Ty Lommers, this time on the ground. The senior puts the Vikings on the board. It's an 8-7 lead after the successful 2-point try. Second quarter now, offenses still humming. Bulldog QB Levi Green pitches to Kane Fisher. He wins the edge on his way to an 11-yard score as Ada wins a tight shootout, 29-26. They'll be at home to open the playoff, and there's a 42% chance that next week it's a rematch with Lipstick.
Wow, I hate to see that. And I noticed your 85-yard line. Don't think that went. Macomb at Elmwood, the Panthers shout out the Royals 39-0, while Riverdale at Pandora Gilboa, the Rockets grounded the Falcons tonight 37-7. All right, coming up after our final break, Finley, Patrick Henry, Central Buckeye Conference, including Ohio State commit Tavian St. Clair. Welcome back to Football Friday night for the final time. Let's go to the Northern Lakes League. Finley against Sylvania Northview.
the Trojans have the playoffs locked up, but they'll be on the road in Week 11. Tonight, they look to get a win and stay healthy against a winless Northview team. Off the kickoff by Northview, it's Carter Emke, who fields it up. Wait, let's take a little pause.
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna get to Patrick Henry Swanton in a minute, guys. Don't worry about it. But
There we go.
we're looking at Finley. We're looking at Finley.
Off the kickoff by Northview, here's Carter Emke, who fields it. The sophomore brings it down the sidelines. He could go all the way, and that's a touchdown for the Trojans. Later in the game, it's Landon Echoberry connecting with Brian Guthrie, and the senior will cruise into the end zone with ease, and the Trojans continue to dominate in this one. Now, it's Dante Kaufman crossing the goal line for the score. Finley wins this one, 42-6.
That was called a tease, you know, to build
All right,
you
up next in the show in the NWOAL, right? All right, Patrick Henry is set to lock down the runner-up spot in that league. But with a win over Swanton, they'll be on the inside bubble for 2 home games. The Patriots have the ball up 20-0 here. Lincoln Krager over to Reed Krager, the brother-to-brother connection, picking up 22 yards and a first down. Later in the drive, Lincoln Krager gets to the outside, and the QB passing 1,000 yards rushing on the season. He brings the Big Red to the red zone, and very next play, sells the defense on play action, finds Trent Johnson for the touchdown. PH wins 39-0.
Let's go to Kenton Ridge. Bell Fountain and Ohio State commit Davian St. Clair on the road. The Chieftains get a home playoff game if they're able to win this one. Bell Fountain leads 7-0 at this point. St. Clair dropping back to pass, but showing he's a little bit of a dual threat. Doesn't like what he sees downfield, pulls it down, slicing through the defense, making some guys miss. Even a little circle button there to spin move his way for the first down. A few possessions later, Bell Fountain up 14-0. St. Clair going to dial up the deep ball, connecting with his man Braylon Newcomb for the score. He catches it. It's 21-0. Bell Fountain takes care of business. They're a winner over Kenton Ridge. Final score 35-0.
I can't believe the PC gamer just said the circle button.
Yes, right.
Wow.
We got a surprise here.
Yes. Finally, we got the OG and Defiance highlights. At Defiance, the Bulldogs take on the Titans. Defiance can secure a home playoff game next week with a win, but the Titans look to play spoiler. Here's the 32-yard field goal by Tyler Rui. But this one is going to be all Defiance. Trailing 3-0 though, Brett Zipfel hands it off to Anthony Wilder. He finds gap, takes it all the way in for a Bulldogs touchdown. And Defiance, they go on to win this game 22-10.
Central Buckeye Conference, Indian Lake beats North Union 27-6. The Lakers will be at home next week. Graham local against Benjamin Logan. It's Ben Logan winning this battle. 19-6 is your final score. All right, that will do it for Football Friday night. Thank you for everyone out there who sent us scores and stats throughout the entire regular season, not just for football, but for every sport.
Yes, yes.
For Tony Quach and Dylan Tyson, I'm Adam Solomon. We will see you in the playoffs.
Whoop.